Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today's video going to be looking at the championship challenge, hopefully getting you guys 15 wins. It's starting this Saturday, so giving you guys a few days heads up. I'm going to be running through the best comps, the best strategies, and just overall how to play every single brawler that I'm going to be showing you guys. So let's jump into it. But actually, before we jump into it, I just want to let you guys know that on Saturday around 12 PM BST, around midday, I'll be playing with you guys. I'll be streaming over on Twitch, so I'll link that in the description below. I'll just be playing with as many guys as possible. I'll be creating about 30 accounts, so it'll be really good fun to see if I can help you guys get 15 wins. So without further ado, let's get into it. I just thought I'd mention, I completely forgot to say it in the intro, but for the star powers, I'll be linking that in the description below with all the star powers that you need. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay guys, so jumping into the first map, which is going to be a hard rock mine. As you can see here by the tier list, you can see who's the better brawlers by far, so definitely take a screenshot of this. But the main mid brawlers you want to be using are the likes of Piper, Poco and Jean. Piper's really high skill cap, so me personally I'm a really good Piper, so that's why I enjoy playing on that map. But Jean and Poco are really solid options as well. And then for the lanes, Ems is really broken right now, obviously, and Sprout the best brawler in the game as well. But you've got a lot of lane options. You've got the Rosa, you've got the Brock, you've got a BB, you've got Penny as well, you've got Jackie, you've got so many different options. Personally, it's just down to personal preference. It's what you feel comfortable with. The beginning rounds are going to be easy. Okay, so jumping into the first map here, well, first set, sorry, it's going to be a hard rock mine. You've got 3 games on this map as you have for every single set, and it's going to be by far the easiest set. So I won't sweat too much, to be honest. I won't use the kind of tricky brawlers you're not comfortable on. Just go for the tried and trusted. So mid, I've explained this before, but I'll just explain briefly again. Piper, if you're good with Piper, she's an incredible mid, as you see here. I mean, I'm a good Piper, so I feel comfortable playing her, but Piper's really good because you can break up the enemy grass, and she's just really good in that grass with the ambush star power. So, I mean, if you're good Piper, why not go for it? But then you can play Jean mid. Jean's the most comfortable option in my opinion, just because once you build up your super, which is easy, really easily to get, you have a lot of presence on the field. You can pull either lane towards you and use your teammates to help you. So Jean, a really comfortable pick. And then you've got the Poco. So if you want to go the Poco double tank comp, Poco's really good. He's especially synergizes really well with BB and Rosa, so that's a really solid comp you can bring out. It's not like you're going to face a lot of counter comps when you're playing at such a low level. These are the really early rounds, so you just need to remember that you don't need to full on sweat it in these ones. But then you can go the likes of Ems. Ems counters the Poco double tank, so Ems is a really comfortable choice. Definitely can't go wrong with going Ems literally anywhere, to be honest, so definitely give her a try. Okay, and now moving on to strategy. So if you're using a Sprout, if you've got him unlocked, definitely use him. The only counter him which your enemy team is using now is Mortis, to be honest. Sprout can literally shoot over at all three lanes, sorry, because he has such incredible range, but he does get hard counters by Mortis, so bear that in mind. And then so the kind of strategy I like to go with a lot of times when I'm in scrims is I like to use a aggressive brawler. So the likes of Jackie, the likes of Ems can be used aggressively on this map. The likes of Rosa. Rosa is really good on this map with the gadget. You can create so many bushes, you can link them up. And if you guys are thinking, oh, how do I link the bushes up? Just literally link up any piece of grass, and they're not going to be able to find you really. It's going to take a long time for enemies to scout you. So definitely a really good strategy on that side of things. And the way you want to be playing this map, you don't really want to let enemy aggros go inside the grass. So here I was a bit dumb. I didn't really check the bushes because I don't know, I completely missed my shots. So then Mortis is able to spawn trap me over and over again. But you don't want to let enemies get inside in your grass, because they can literally be anywhere. It's really hard to get them out of that position unless you've got wall break as well, or unless you do some insane pinching. So for example, like a Jackie or Rosa in your bushes, it's going to be so hard. They just offer so much presence, you can't allow them to get inside of them bushes. But as previously mentioned, there's not really a lot more to say on this map. The skill level is going to be really low, so bear that in mind. You've got to see a lot of Jessies, a lot of Pennies, a lot of tanks, to be honest. So I mean, Mortis I don't really think would be the best option on this map. Stick to the more tested comps. So that's going to be it for Hard Rock Mine. Not really too much to say. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, moving on to Pit Stop Heist now. So as you can see by the tier list again, take a screenshot again because it's going to be going in around 30 seconds time. So in the A tier, the best comp on this map by far in my opinion is Nita M's BB. Just so good. I'll get into that in a few moments. But then going into A tier, they're the kind of brawlers you can use as well. Past the A tier, I don't really recommend using any of them brawlers. Maybe except for B, I mean, not really too much. But A tier, all of them brawlers are still really viable. So if you feel comfortable on any of them, give them a chance. But yeah, let's jump into some strategy now. Okay, jumping into the comps for this map, I think this one that we're using right now inside the gameplay is the strongest comp by far. For BB, you want to be using, I mean, preferably I'll be using the home run stop power, just because in a BB 1v1, the home run stop power always wins. I mean, both BBs here using the batting stance, but I mean, it's kind of personal preference at the end of the day. And then Nita with Hyper Bear, as you guys obviously know in Heist, is just going to be so good. I think the Nita on their team, oh no, they're definitely using Hyper Bear. I was going to say, I thought they was using the other star power, but yeah, definitely use the Hyper Bear star power. And then for Ems is just incredibly broken, as everyone for sure knows by now. She's been broken for a long time with the Hype star power and the 2 gadgets that she has. Just makes her such an incredible brawler inside of the game. And the way you want to be playing this, I mean, I don't really recommend playing too many different brawlers. If you've got a good BB and Nita, Ems, definitely pick this comp. I mean, it's not really too hard to play a good Nita. You just got to play passive. You've got to sit behind the walls and play patient. Get your super, build it up, and build your defense into offense. That's the main kind of strategy with this comp. The BB and the Ems, well, BB mainly is attacking most of the game, but you want to be defending as much as possible. Try not to let any brawlers get past you, and then slowly work your way up the map. And BB especially, I think, is the most vital brawler inside of this comp. She just plays so well against so many different brawlers. She gets really good value out of her bubble. With the BB bubble, you've got kind of 2 spots you can use it. You can use it horizontally or vertically. I mean, the vertically spot on the safe when you're hitting against the wall and backwards, that's going to get you the most damage. But I mean, in some situations you have to throw it the other side, but either way you're going to get a lot of value with the BB bubble, and that's one of the main reasons why she's so good inside of this map especially. Okay, now let's dive into more of the strategy. I'm only going to do it shortly in this video. I'm going to be hopefully uploading a heist guide Sunday or Monday, so definitely stay tuned for that. But definitely let's talk a bit about Heist and the fundamentals, which everyone needs to know. So the way I play Heist, I look at the matchups. Start off by, if I'm using like Colt, Rico, Brock, definitely go your lanes. But yeah, it's definitely about recognizing how much damage your enemy brawlers do as soon as you load it into the match. So basically I'm assessing it here. There's Nita. Nita only does 1120 damage, so that's not really a lot in comparison to the likes of Max and the likes of BB, so you don't want to be leaving them brawlers on this safe. So Nita without a bear, she's going to offer little to no presence, so I mean you can literally just let her walk up the map. She's not going to do a lot of damage to the safe. You want to be just ignoring that, not feeding the bear. But then for example, again, Nita with bear, you can't leave that alone. Nita with bear on the safe is just going to absolutely devastate the safe, and you're going to end up losing the game if you're leaving that. So definitely it's very scenario based. It's kind of hard to teach Heist because there's just so many different situations. It's more of a, you've got to play and trial and test it and kind of make mistakes. The best way of learning is by making the mistakes and then knowing what you could have done better. So as you can see in this gameplay, BB is absolutely crucial. She just goes to town on enemy teams, and then you can kind of switch up a lot of different brawlers. I mean, like I said before, it's kind of personal preference. I mean, I did really enjoy playing Max, Brock, Rico on this map. Colt's really good on this map with his gadget. He just offers insane DPS. So that's going to be a brief breakdown on Heist. I mean, it's only the second set. I don't want to go too in-depth into it, but as long as you remember the fundamentals of how to defend and how to attack. Okay, so moving on to set 3, it's going to be some assembly required siege. So as you can see here, tier list again, screenshot it now because it's going to go in 30 seconds. But the best comp in the game, the A+ tier, is going to be BB, Primo and Sprout. Sorry for you guys that haven't got Sprout, but Sprout is just incredibly broken right now and really good inside of Siege, so definitely need to use him. I mean, a good substitution for Sprout is going to be the likes of Barley, the likes of Jean in the mid. In Siege, you want to have a mid and 2 lanes, so definitely Sprout, Barley, Jean going to be your good choices. And then I really like the Primo and the BB, so yeah, let's jump into why I like that. Okay, so jumping into Siege then, so I did do a full breakdown of Siege, which took me a long time, around 20 minutes. Definitely check that out. I'll link in the description below, just because that's way more in depth than this one, but what I'm about to tell you. But basically, the way you want to be playing Siege and the way you want to be starting off, BB is vital inside of every single comp. I think literally everyone's got BB, so if you've not got BB, I mean, you're pretty screwed, to be honest, because BB is crucial. BB, you want to be going for that bolt straight away. It's vital getting that first bolt. And in Siege now, it's kind of changed. So basically, they've made a change it so whenever you respawn, the boss can just run through you instead of you being able to tank it and stop it from moving. So it's a big change inside of Siege. So it basically makes it so defense is really hard right now, and attacking is really easy. You're going to be 1 or 2 pushing enemies a lot more now. So yeah, the way you want to be playing BB is collecting the bolts as much as possible, using that knockback to hit the enemies back, obviously, and gaining big bolts. The way you want to be playing it, Primo, a lot of people may be thinking, oh, why is he using Primo? Primo, it literally counters, well, hard counters every single tank inside of the game, and hard counters BB. So that's why Primo is so good, especially when he's got that jump. A lot of people, well, hardly any brawlers can really tackle him down when he's got that jump. It just deals so much damage when you're using that elf where he goes star power as well. Really, really nice, and you're just able to have so much presence once you've got that. The other thing about Primo, it can take a while for him to get super, but once he's got that Primo super, as I said, he's just going to be so dominant. And the way you want to be playing the mid, so in this gameplay here, Barley's being used, but Sprout is just incredibly broken. You can use his walls to block off the little choke points the boss is going to be running through, so then he has to completely redirect himself, and that gives you way more time to take him down. So Sprout is definitely vital within the composition. But if you haven't got Sprout, Barley, whenever we play scrims, we tend to ban Sprout, or the enemy team does. So Barley definitely is his second best alternative, especially with what I just spoke about moments before, how attacks kind of last 1 or 2 pushes now. So Barley, as you know, absolutely melts the Ike, just absolutely melts it with his super, and with just for normal attacks. You want to be staying behind that boss as much as possible. You want the tanks to try and to protect you and keep you alive. You can use a gadget to keep you alive, so it's really, really good. And then if you don't like Primo, I mean, I really advise BB, so I really want to switch that one out. But if you don't like Primo, there's good alternatives with the likes of Rosa, with the likes of Daryl. Daryl's really, really solid option. I really enjoy playing Daryl. But yeah, but as I've shown in the tier list below, there's still a few options that you can pick. Not really a lot, to be honest. I definitely would stick with the tried and trusted BB, the Sprout, the Jean, the Barley, and then the tank can be your choice. You can play the Rosa, Primo, or Daryl. But the fundamentals of Siege, you definitely want the 2 tanks. You need a mid, and with that, it's going to be pretty simple to win. It's only the 3rd set. The competition is going to get a bit harder, but I mean, with these strategies, with these comps, you shouldn't really be struggling too much. So that's going to be Siege in a nutshell. Let's jump into set 4. Okay guys, jumping into the tier list for set 4, which is going to be Canal Grande. So personally, my favourite bounty map. I know Frank, he really enjoys this map as well, but it's a really fun map. The only thing about it at the moment, it's a bit rock, paper, scissors. As you can see by the A+ tier, you've got Piper, Brock, Tick, Poco, Rosa, Jackie, and Sprout. So basically, the kind of generic comp is going to be Piper, Brock, Tick. That's going to be the tried and tested comp. And then, to be honest, the Poco, Rosa, Jackie, Sprout. So you want to be using a Poco and a Rosa, then it's kind of up to you whether you pick a Jackie or a Sprout. But you want to be using either one of them comps I just suggested there. The Poco Rosa comp counters the generic comp, so it's kind of just up to you on how you feel, on how you're comfortable with it. But personally, I would go with the Poco one. Okay, so let's talk about composition here. So to be honest, my favourite comp here, but it's kind of shame it's getting a bit out of the meta because of Poco, Rosa, Jackie kind of metas coming into effect. It's just so strong, but I really enjoy playing the Piper, Brock, Tick. We played it wrong on this one. You want to be sending the Piper down the left hand side as well as the Brock and then the Tick, or even the Sprout down the right hand lane, just because Tick can literally win his lane against multiple brawlers. And so the kind of way they're playing it, you can put Jackie in a comp. You want to be definitely using Piper if you're using any sort of long range, and you can kind of substitute maybe Brock for the Jackie, because Brock can, or Tick maybe, because the tanks can hold their lanes singly. So I mean, if you don't want to go over Tick, you can just put a tank in the lane on their own. But this map, it's really hard. You've got to be playing for that mid control. As I said, it's one of my favourite maps just because I'm a good Piper and we've got Semantic, who's a really good Brock. So we kind of dominate teams when we play this, but it's all about the mid control. If you lose that mid control, it's going to be really hard for you to get back into the map, just because you can just literally sit in the bushes. The enemies don't know where you are. You can keep popping out and shooting them if you're using the long range. And then if you're using the tankier ones, we'll be showing it in the next game with a bit more strategy into that. But with Piper, you can literally just roam around the grasses using the ambush star power and just getting so much damage, and then using your super to get away and destroy things. But as I said, you want to be keeping that mid control. It's really easy to keep them in the spawn trap and get a big lead, but at the same time, if you lose that mid control, it's going to be the opposite way around. It's going to be really hard for you guys to push up. It's kind of relying on you getting a clutch kill of breaking that spawn trap, but it's all about the last 15 seconds as well in Bounty, just because of how easily you can get pushed back on this map. You want to be staying forward for as long as possible without risking your life, because you're just going to get backed into the corner. Okay, now jumping into the other strategy, which are definitely hard counters for generic Piper, Brock, Tick. So I mean, I definitely recommend you go in this comp because you're going to be winning a lot of games. It's kind of hard to execute for the first time if you're just playing it for the first time. But after you've tried it a few times, it's definitely going to be the better comp. The way you want to be playing it, you want to be more than likely triple stacking your lane. Maybe against a Tick, maybe just send the Jackie down the left hand side, or the Sprout solo down the left hand side. But you want to be keeping the Poco and Rosa together. Rosa is very good with a gadget. As you see, the first step you want to be doing is putting the grass in the middle straight away, just because it just makes it so you can sneak through the grass. As you see there, catch out Piper. And then Poco, you want to be staying behind the tanks. The role of Poco is very underrated, to be honest. I know a lot of people probably just think it's auto aim, but it's kind of crucial on watching your tank's health. You don't want them to get too low. You want to be making sure they stay alive for as long as possible. You want to be timing your heals correctly, so when Jackie uses the gadget, for example, she's going to be really, really low a lot of the time, so you want to be timing that heal to good effect. The Poco gadget is going to be keeping tanks alive for a long while. And then you don't see Sprout in this gameplay, but Sprout is incredibly broken on this map. You can substitute him for the Rosa or the Jackie. So Sprout with Poco is actually really good because you've got the Sprout gadget that makes him heal. You've just got Poco constantly healing him as well, and then the Jackie and Rosa is just incredibly broken. The way you want to be playing with tanks, as you can see by my Rosa gameplay, are playing really, really well in this game, but you want to be just dodging your way through, just literally using the amount of health you has as presence, because the one thing they can't do, they can't afford to get into your face, because you're just going to absolutely destroy them. They've got to keep their range, but at the same time, they want to be chipping you down. But when you've got a Poco behind you constantly healing, it's going to be hard for the enemy to really do anything. So that's going to be Canal Grande set 4. It's all about keeping that mid control. You don't want to get pushed back too soon, and you want to be helping each other, pinch the enemies, stay up the map for as long as possible. You don't want to get pushed back, because as soon as you get pushed back, you're going to get spawn trapped. So as I said, that's going to be set 4. Let's jump into set 5. Okay guys, so moving on to set 5, the 5th and final set. It's going to be Backyard Brawl. So they've changed the kind of ways the game modes are now done. Siege used to be the last and probably the hardest for people to grasp, as well as Heist. Brawl, probably the most played map out of every single one, and definitely the most fun, so that's probably why Brawl's last. But you guys probably know how to play Brawl, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but definitely going to go into the strategies and our best comps. As you can see here, take a screenshot again, it's going to disappear in a sec. These are going to be the best brawlers. Definitely recommend using the A+ and A within this one, and then even B. BT can still use a lot of these brawlers. Definitely recommend B and BB. They're really good picks on this map as well. So that's going to be enough for tier list. Let's jump into strategy. Right, so the 5th final set, Backyard Brawl. Let's get straight into it. So the generic Sprout is going to be the best pick on this map. I've said it for 4 out of 5 maps now, so you guys really know how good he is inside of the game right now. It's just the fact that Sprout can literally control all three lanes at the same time. It's just insane the amount of range he has and the amount of value you can get out of him. And Sprout is really good counter against a lot of different brawlers. So the kind of popular brawlers on this map are going to be like the Ems, the Pams, the other mids. Sprout is just going to absolutely dominate, as well as dominate his lane. So definitely recommend that on that side of things. And then kind of a mid, I like the Pam. A lot of people actually don't enjoy playing Pam, but Pam is a really good mid just because of how tanky she is. She's got that turret, and with the star power that allows it, so every single time an enemy goes inside the turret, it does 500 damage, so definitely very good for presence. The walls, you want to be throwing it behind the wall, just like shown on this one. He's using the wrong star power, but if he was using the right one, would have got decent value out of that. And then in this gameplay, we're using B mid. B is very good against the tankier comps, so sometimes you see teams use the Poco double tank strategy on this map as well. Even though it's really open, teams still bring it out, so definitely be careful for that. B is very good at destroying them comps, and that's why you see a lot of B in the meta, to be honest. B is actually really good inside meta just because of that. And then Brock. Brock's personally my favourite brawler to play on this map. You want to be playing him on the lane. You want to be using him to shoot at the mid. So normally Pam goes mid. Brock's really good at shooting at Pam. You get a lot of value out of it. Brock's also good against Sprout. So Sprout, as you know, is best brawler inside of a game. Brock's just really good against Sprout because of his super. It's really easy to kill Sprout with his super. You can use Brock's gadget also to get into Sprout's face, and also Brock's range. It's the longest range in the game, I think, other than Piper's. I think Brock's actually might be the longest. So you can actually get Sprout from a distance, which is really vital at taking him down. Brock's also good because his super is a wall break, obviously, and it makes it so you can break up the map for your advantage. You want to be breaking up the wall before the goal as soon as possible, and then the other walls either side. You want to be using them walls as presence. So basically, when you take out a lane, you want to be pushing forward and pushing against that wall and helping your team push up as well. So it's kind of like a two-stage kind of process in this map. You want to be helping each other get to the first stage, which is the first block of walls, and then once you've reached there, you can then work your way onto scoring. So some more pointers for this map. I definitely recommend you playing it really patiently. So the way I like to play it at the start, especially beyond these walls here, you want to just be chipping down your enemies. You don't want to be pushing too aggro unless they're low on HP. That's the kind of time you want to be pushing forward. As you can see, they're getting a good pinch on us. They've recognised that one of our teammates are really low in HP, so then they can push forward and pinch collectively. So it's a really good strategy. So that's also the way you want to be playing it at the start. And then a key point I said before, you want to be playing it really patiently. You want to be pushing together as a team, helping each other get towards the first block of walls. That's going to be crucial, and it's really hard obviously to score on this map until you break up the walls. So getting them important supers, so like the Penny turret that breaks up the wall, you've got the Brock super that breaks up the wall, you've got the Jean super that breaks up the wall. There's a few more other options that can break walls. You definitely need a wall break in my opinion. If you don't have the wall break, it's going to be really hard for you to come back. Positioning is obviously really key on this map. The way I play it on the lanes, you want to be trying to dodge as many shots as possible. You want to be getting into the face around the walls, but also not playing it too aggressively, because if you die, it's really easy for the team to then collapse on you. So definitely play for your life more than you would on any other Brawl Ball map, just because it's kind of hard to get enemies out of that pocket. Once they've got you and there's walls there, it's really hard to then take out the enemies in that position. It's really easy for the enemy team to then score. So definitely play your life. Definitely don't take too many risks on this. This map is a very open map. It's a very team orientated map. So you want to be sticking to your teammates for as much as possible. Really, it's all about pinching, working together as a team. And as Brawl Ball, you've guys probably played Brawl Ball so many times. You guys are probably already good at it, but it's just kind of just down to comps. Really, it's down to how you guys feel with certain brawlers. If you don't like a certain brawler, for example, I'm not the best Pam. I won't be going Pam, so I'll be picking the brawler that I'm comfortable with. There's a lot of different brawlers to pick, so don't be sweating it too much on the comps. If you've got Sprout, definitely obviously use Sprout because he's the best brawler in the game. But for the other options, there's a lot of different options you can pick. They're all really good, so it's down to personal preferences. You want to play your comfy brawlers, to be honest. You don't want to be using brawlers that you're not comfortable with, as you're not going to be seeing good results. Also for like Gene, for example, and Brock, I'm really good with them, so they're kind of my comfy picks. If in doubt, I'll be using these brawlers. So that's going to be Brawl, the 5th and final set. Really important you guys win this one. Okay guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. A really in-depth one. I really enjoyed making these guides, so let me know down in the comment section below what guides you want to see from me. I really like doing it. The only thing I need to practice on is maybe scripting. It took me a long while to script this, so hopefully you learned a lot. Hopefully you get 15 wins, and don't forget at 12 PM BST on a Saturday, I'm going to be streaming and playing with you guys, hopefully getting you to 15 wins. Definitely check it out. We're playing with as many people as possible for as long as possible, so make sure to check me out there. It'll be really fun. I hope to see you guys there. That's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.